I can't believe it is that time of year again where we'll be ranking all the palettes I tried so far this year. Y'all, I tried over 50 palettes. That is insane to me. So you guys want to see what I think was the best palette of the year so far and what I think was the worst palette of the year so far? Well, then definitely keep on watching. Okay, so before we dive into today's video, I just do want to do a quick little honorable mention. What I'm wearing in my eyes, unfortunately, will not be listed in today's video because the product has yet to be revealed. Unfortunately, I cannot include that in today's ranking, but it will be in the ranking for the end of 2025. Same thing, the Bella Tay Bar Unoriginals palette, Unoriginal Nudes palette. Again, I do not have time to film this before my cruise, and this is not being revealed yet either, but I do want to show you that I have it. I will be doing a 3 looks, 3 palettes, so this will be featured at the end of 2025. Same thing with Gourmand Girls. The Mocha Moment will be featured at the end of 2025, and so will the Amber Glow from Alter Ego as well. Oh, I'm so sorry I did not have time to get to these palettes before I ended up leaving my cruise, but just know I will be doing a 3 looks, 3 palettes. So with that said, guys, we're going to dive into the 50 palettes I tried so far this year, from my least favorite to my most favorite. So coming in at number 50, we do have the Morphe. This is going to be the Forbidden Honey palette. Now, this is the first PR package I ever got from Morphe, and I was so beyond excited and thrilled because I never in my life thought I'd ever get a Morphe palette. And I thought this palette was going to be super exciting until I played with it. I thought the formula was just so lackluster. The mattes had a little bit of pigmentation, but they really did not work the best way I thought it. But it's this multi-chrome in the middle. This is supposed to be a beautiful like shimmer, but it's like a multi-chrome. This sucked. This had absolutely no pigment, no pigmentation whatsoever. I did not care for it. The color story definitely is a color story that I don't really resonate with a lot. So for me, I was so excited going into this, and when I left the review, I was like, ugh, those are palettes that I probably would never purchase again because I just did not care for the quality. I thought the quality was really piss poor compared to previous Morphe palettes that I'm so used to playing with. So for me, at number 50, we have the Morphe Forbidden Honey palette. Coming in at number 49, we do have the Pulp Fantasy palette from Morphe. Again, this is part of that same collection, and I was so excited. I thought the color story was a little bit more better. I thought the color story was a little bit better on this one, but I, again, was just sorely disappointed with this. The mattes, again, just didn't really have the best pigmentation. The shimmers in here were abysmal. They were a joke. I definitely struggled to get these to work, and even when I did my video for you guys, I told you I was really disappointed in these palettes. I did not think they were worth wild in my opinion, especially compared to all the other palettes I've tried so far this year. So for me, this was just not a good palette, and I was just like, damn, that sucks. I really wanted to love it, but I ended up just not caring for it, and I told you guys I would end up trashing these palettes. And so for me, I just don't care for this. So coming in at number 49, we do have the Pulp Fantasy palette from Morphe. Coming in at number 48, we do have the Glamlight Holiday Sweets palette. Now, I actually got this in their mystery box, and I was so excited for this. I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be an amazing palette. You know, Glamlight always has such phenomenal color stories, phenomenal packaging, phenomenal everything. And then I got this, and I opened it, and I was like, what is this? What is this? This is a boring ass palette. This is a boring ass palette. I definitely don't think it hits the theme at all. This is supposed to be like a winter holiday sweets. I don't see it. I don't see it at all. I feel like this is just something they kind of just like thrown together. While the shimmers are nice, they are nice. I won't knock the shimmers. I just felt like this was a very lackluster second thought palette. Like they said, they put a lot of work and everything into this. I did not see it. I did not see holiday. I did not see Christmas. I did not see holiday sweets. I didn't really see anything with this. I thought this was just a random color story thrown together. And I was pretty disappointed when I got this palette, not gonna lie. So for me, that is why for me, this was definitely a disappointment compared to other Glamlight palettes. So at number 48, we do have the Glamlight Holiday Sweets palette. So another palette that I was thoroughly disappointed in, that I was so excited about, and then when I got it and I saw it, I was like, oh, that's it. And it's the Lunar Beauty. This is going to be the Day and Night palette. Now the concept is cool, where they have the Day and Night palette. They're magnetic, so you can pull them apart, or you guys can keep them together. You're going to have the day palette right here, or you're gonna have the night palette right here. And I'm sorry, but these two color stories for me are giving absolutely nothing. They are giving absolutely nothing. Like for me, I understand that Manny loves a good neutral moment. Like that is something that's very on brand for him. But for me, this just looks so similar to like his moon. This just looks so similar to some of the other palettes he has in his collection. I just feel like this was definitely a little safe. a little boring, and a lot of people felt the same way. Like a lot of these shades in this palette right here look almost identical. And while the shimmers are nice, they're nothing worthwhile in my opinion. And it's just really sad because I really do love this brand and I loved so many of the previous palettes. So for me, I just felt like this was just lackluster, and I just was not a big fan of this whatsoever. So that is why coming in at number 47, we do have the Lunar Beauty Day and Night palette. Coming in at number 46, and this is going to be a hot take, one that people are definitely not going to agree with me, and people might get mad, but again, you know, it's all makeup subjective. But coming in at number 46, we do have the Natasha Denona Bloom palette right here. Now, I bought this because I had FOMO. I had fear of missing out. I had fear that I was missing out on a wonderful palette. And then I actually got the palette in my hands, and I was just so disappointing. Like I was just so disappointed. Like the color story, it's not the worst color story in the world, but it's a color story that I personally don't gravitate to. This is supposed to be their stream. This is supposed to be like their spring-like palette, and some of you guys felt like this was a perfect rendition of spring. But for me, when I picture spring, I'm also gonna picture pastel purples, pastel yellows, pastel greens, pastel blues, like really just beautiful pastel-y style palettes. And granted, they do have a pastel dream palette. I totally get that, but I just wanted more from this palette when I could think of like a flower palette. And I just feel like the shimmers in here were very lackluster compared to some of their previous formulas. Like their Roxy palette, I don't know what they do with those shimmers, but they were phenomenal. I still love that palette so much, but I just felt like the shimmers in here were very lackluster, and the mattes are very similar to each other, and they were just very boring in my opinion. So while the palette does perform the way that I typically expect a Natasha palette to perform, I just felt like the color story, the packaging was just kind of an afterthought to me, and just one that I really did not resonate with. And I picked it up because I did not want to miss out on it, and I told you guys in that review, I kind of regretted getting it. So for me, this was definitely not Natasha Denona's most wowing palette. So that is why at number 46, we do have the Natasha Denona Bloom palette. Coming in at number 45, I absolutely love this brand and I really love the concept of this collection, but I just found the palette to be a little bit chaotic. So coming in at number 45, we do have the Street Fighter palette from Game Beauty. First off, the outside packaging I think is super cool. I love the design and the shape of the palette, but the color story on the inside is just one that I just kind of don't resonate with. I feel like it's a little chaotic. When a palette like this just kind of has colors kind of thrown all over the place and not really in a cohesive order, I kind of get thrown off. And that's just more of me. That's just more of me being like, I don't really know what type of eye look to create now because everything's just kind of thrown in here. I don't really see where there's a vision. I don't really see where things can be color coordinated or put together. I like a more organized palette. I feel like I always have liked that. So for me, I stare at it going, I don't know what to do. Now the shimmers in here are phenomenal. They're phenomenal shimmers and the mattes are really pigmented, but I just feel like this palette was just kind of thrown together in terms of the color story, one that I don't really resonate with. And not to mention, I'm not a Street Fighter person. I told you that, guys, that in my review. The multi-chrome shimmers they have, the single ones, oh, chef's kiss. But for this one, I told you guys I didn't really know what to do with this palette. I kind of looked at it going, tis confusion. I don't know what to do. So it's not that this palette is bad. It's just that for me, I have other palettes in my collection I get a lot more excited about and more inspired about. This one, I'd have to really stare and look at it going, what can I do? Like, what type of look can I create? Because it's very, very difficult for me to find a vision in terms of like an eye look with that. So that is why at number 45, we do have the Game Beauty Street Fighter palette. Coming at number 44, I know a lot of people out there really loved this collection. They really love this palette. And I understand why, but for me, I've never seen this movie. I've never read the book, so I don't really have any sort of correlation with it. So that is why it's a little bit lower on my list compared to other ones. But coming in number 44, we do have the American Psycho palette from Wicked Widow. Now, the outside packaging is super cool. I do enjoy the outside packaging. I will say the color story on the inside, it's not a bad color story. I did like the eye looks I created with it, but for me, I just don't know any references. And like the color story, it can be exciting, but for me, I look at it going, oh, okay, it's like a cool tone palette, like a cool tone palette pops of color. I don't necessarily see American Psycho, but I've never seen the video. I've never seen the movie. I've never read the book, so I don't see any correlation with it. So it's why, like, for me, I don't resonate with this palette. I don't love this palette nearly as much as I do other ones in my collection because this is kind of a color story and in a theme that I just don't really go to that often. So there's nothing bad about this palette. The formula worked really nicely. I really did enjoy the shimmers, but for me, because I just don't really connect with it, it's definitely gonna be lower on my list. So that is why at number 44, we do have the American Psycho palette from Wicked Widow. Coming in at number 43, we do have the Blend Bunny Cosmetics plastic palette. Now this is the first palette they launched this year, and I was really, really excited to get it because they recently said they were gonna be revamping their entire PR list, so I never expected to get this. While this can definitely be a fun palette for me, I just don't think it's the most aesthetically pleasing to me. There's definitely a lot of neutral shades in here with pops of pink. I don't really gravitate towards pink shades. You guys know that about me. I'm just not a big pinky person. person. And while I do think that the neutral shades in here are pretty, I think the pink just kind of throws me out of the element of it. This is supposed to be like a plastic palette, like not their take on Barbie, but just like plastic and like the fakeness, how Hollywood can be at times. And I like the concept, I like the idea, and I think the palette performs really nicely. It's just the color story is just not one that I really gravitate to a lot. I really would find myself only playing with like a couple of the shades over here. The rest I wouldn't really touch. And so if I'm not really willing to play with the full palette, I don't really love it as much as I do other ones. So it's not that this is not a good palette, it's just not my personal favorite. So that is why at number 43 we do have the plastic palette from Blend Bunny Cosmetics. I mean, number 42 we do have the sugar palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills. Now I did not expect myself to buy this palette, but I happened to see it on TikTok Shop and it was a fantastic deal. I got 2 for like 20 something bucks. I thought it was a great deal, so I ended up purchasing it. I will say the shimmers actually performed quite nicely. I wasn't expecting the shimmers to perform the way they did because I don't know, I just forget that ABH can have decent quality palettes. The mattes were really nice, and the only reason why it's pretty low on the list is just because I don't really use it as much as I thought I would. It's really pretty. This would be a great travel palette, but because I definitely don't, because I don't reach for it as much, it's just gonna be lower on my list. I have nothing bad to say about it. It's a really pretty color story. This is, like I said, a good travel palette, but I just prefer other color stories over this one, so that is why it's a little bit lower on the list compared to where it could technically be. So coming in number 42, we do have the sugar palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills. Coming in at number 41, we do have the Morphe. This is the Moon Spice palette. Now this palette actually surprised me. Now I did not care for the Forbidden Love one, but these ones I feel like the formula in these palettes were just quite different. Now this is the only one I tried so far from their new Chroma palette collection vault they just recently came out with. It's the only one I tried. I really did enjoy the eye look. I thought this is a really easy palette to work with. The mattes blended really nicely. The shimmers were actually surprising. Like these little multi-chrome moments, or what they call them, molten shadows, molten shimmers, they actually were performing nicely. I was genuinely really surprised. Now, is this the most wowing formula? No. The mattes are blendable, they're pigmented. The shimmers, they do their job, but it's not going to be a standout palette in my opinion. These are just more of like an everyday palette that you grab on the go, or you could travel with, or you just want to do like a really quick, easy eye look. This is what that palette's going to be for. It's not going to really stand out to you in terms of the formula, the color story, the packaging, but it does exactly what you would expect a palette to do. So I really do enjoy this, but I just feel like because I'm kind of limited on the color story that I can create with it, it's just going to be lower in the list. That's the reason why it's lower, just because I'm limited on what I can do. But the formula was actually quite nice. I was surprised by this one. So coming in at number 41, we do have the Moon Spice palette from Morphe. Coming in at number 40, we do have the Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is going to be the Spice palette. Now this is a really pretty neutral moment. This is like a neutral golden bronze moment. This is a great travel palette. I really did enjoy the formula. I really enjoyed the eye look. But for me, like I said earlier with the other one, I feel like I'm just kind of limited on what type of eye look I can create. I feel like I can only do so much. So while this is a really pretty like bronzy golden neutral eyeshadow moment, I just feel like I prefer other color stories more, and I definitely can create more fun, unique colors in other palettes because I love a good neutral moment, but I just still feel like I'm just a colorful person overall. So for me, it's pretty, but not pretty enough for me to want to bump it up further. So coming at number 40, we do the Spice palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills. Coming at number 39, we do have the Clarity Cosmetics. This is going to be the I Love Coffee palette. Now this one's going to be a beautiful neutral lover's dream. Now this one, I did have fun playing with this. I did enjoy the shadows. I will say I don't care when palettes offer foil shimmers in here. While foils are really beautiful, they're very difficult for me to work with because they do blend, but they also crease and crack on me very easily, and they can get all over the face, and they're not the easiest to wash off. So I just kind of wish that brands would get away from foil shimmers, but that's just my personal opinion. And I will say you can definitely create a little bit more unique looks with this. It's gonna be more of a cool tone coffee lover's dream palette, and I think if you love a good neutral moment, you're really gonna love this. But for me, again, I feel like I can only do so much with this palette. So it's not that it's a bad palette. It's just for me, I just prefer other ones more. So coming at number 39, we do have the Clarity Cosmetics I Love Coffee palette. Coming at number 38, this is the first time I actually tried this brand, was this palette right here. This is the DD Signature Shattered Romance palette. Now you guys know that my least favorite holiday is Valentine's Day. I could give 2 shits about Valentine's Day. There's something about it I just don't care about. And this is exactly what this palette caters to. And while I love the eye look I created when playing with this, I love the formula, I just feel like I, again, am kind of limited on what I can create. I don't really gravitate to a lot of pinkies and purple shades. I don't really gravitate to a lot of black, red, and pinky shades. Purples, I'm definitely dipping my toes in a lot more. But the rest, I just don't really gravitate to. So I probably only play this palette once, or I only probably play this palette during a certain time of year, or really if I'm looking for something in particular, like really like pinky burgundy style look, I'll go into this. But because it's not one of those palettes I would find myself reaching for on an everyday basis, it definitely is going to be a little bit lower on the list. But the shimmers are phenomenal. The mattes are really beautiful, and I had a lot of fun playing with this. So coming at number 38, we do have the Shattered Romance palette from DD Signature. Coming in at number 37, we do have the Unearthly Cosmetics Thinking of You palette. Again, this is another Valentine's theme palette, and I just feel like since I don't resonate with the holiday, I don't necessarily gravitate to the palettes. While this is a really pretty color story, I feel like the look I created was more of like a fall neutral moment than more of a Valentine's Day moment. And I just find myself thinking this is really beautiful, but I'm kind of limited again on what I can create. I can only do so much. I can't do a wider range of different eye looks with this. And I really enjoyed the formula. I really enjoyed the eye look that I created, but I just feel like I wanted more out of this one. So for me, it's beautiful, but I just prefer other ones. So coming at number 38, we do have the Thinking of You palette from Unearthly Cosmetics. Coming in at number 36, as you guys can tell, I have a theme. We have the Gourmand Girls Bitten palette. Now this is going to be their take again on like a anti-Valentine's Day moment. And while this is a really pretty color story, since I don't really gravitate to a lot of colors like this, I feel like there's only so much I would do with this palette. There's only so many times I'd reach for this palette. It's not that the formula is not great. It absolutely is. I just am not a big purpley, pinky, blacky, reddy style girl. It's just not my color story. That's what it all comes down to. It's just not my color story. Can I make something out of this? Absolutely. But I feel like I'd only play with so many different shades before I'm like, okay, I tap out now. You know what I mean? So it's a great formula, really cool concept, but I just like other ones more. So coming in at number 36, we do have the Bitten palette from Gourmand Girls. Okay, so coming at number 35, we do have the Glamlight Edward palette. First off, I love the packaging. I think the packaging is so good. You open it up, you're going to have a quote, and you're going to have Edward right here that shifts between two different versions of Edward. I think Glamlight did such a phenomenal job when it came to the packaging. But for me, the reason why this is going to be lower on the list is just because the color story. Like the color story, to me, I just don't necessarily connect with like I do other ones. It's going to be a cool tone muted color story, which Glamlight is notorious for releasing a lot of cool tone palettes. If you guys have not noticed a theme, they really do love their cool tone moment, and, which is great for me because I love a good cool tone. I love a good cool tone palette, but I feel like when they all start to blend in together, that's when I start to do a little side eye going, can you do something a little different? Now, I did do a comparison between this and the Ghostface Remastered. They're definitely very different color stories, but they do have some similarities. I still think I prefer this one over the Ghostface, and I do love the eye that I created in here. The formula was beautiful. Really beautiful formula. I still don't necessarily fully see Edward with this. Like I love the eye like I did, and I can see how it's like vampy and like Victorian style-esque, but is it truly screams Edward from a, like when you look at this right here? No, it does not. So that's also why it's lower on the list. So coming in at number 35, we do have the Edward palette from Twilight. We do the Edward palette from Glamlight X Breaking Dawn collection. Coming in at number 34, we do have the Lilo and Stitch Beach Dreaming palette. I love Stitch so much, and while I love the outside packaging of this palette, y'all, it's the color story on the inside that did it for me. This does not scream Lilo and Stitch. If I were to just look at this palette right here, I would just think it's another one of ColourPop's spring flower palette. I don't see Stitch. I told you guys in my video that I just wish they would have switched the color story. They would have made more bright, bold, vibrant colors. They would have done like more beachy style, bright yellows, golds, blues, reds, greens, like bright, vibrant, bold colors that kind of represent Hawaii in my opinion. And I just feel like this was a little bit more on the safer, softer pastel side. So I don't see Stitch when I look at this. I liked my eye look, but I just wasn't inspired. Like I don't get inspired when I look at this. And I really, really wanted to because I love Stitch so much. And I just feel like he didn't get the justice that he deserved in this palette. So that is why at number 34, we have the Lilo and Stitch palette from ColourPop. Coming at number 33, we do have the ColourPop Toy Story palette. I love the packaging. I think the packaging is super cute. But I guess for me, on the inside, it does scream a little bit of Toy Story. Like I can see the colors, but I also just feel like it's okay. Like it's okay. I really like the eye look that I played with. I really like the eye look, and I can see the Toy Story elements, but for me it just kind of comes off as another rainbow palette. I look at it, I'm like, oh, I can create some fun looks with it, but they also keep putting in their pressed glitter formula in here, and I really wish I would get away from it. It works now compared to how it used to work, but I just feel like it's just aggravating. I just wish they would just be a beautiful either multi-chrome, dual chrome, or just make it a shimmer stop using pressed glitter. I just feel like they don't know how to let go of like 2017, 2018 era when it comes to their makeups. They still have to hold on to pressed glitter when I don't see any other brand implement it. They're the only ones, and I just wish they would step away. So for me, I feel like this palette could definitely have been a little bit more elevated if they got rid of that element. So that is why at number 33, we do have the Toy Story collaboration with ColourPop. Coming in at number 32, y'all definitely had some opinions on this one, and I loved hearing it. But coming in at number 32, we do have the Glamlight Lord of the Rings Middle Earth palette. Now the packaging, chef's kiss. Now this was supposed to be a lenticular motion. I still don't see it. I think that was like a mishaps on their website. I think that was something that wasn't supposed to be there. I think it was like the wrong description. So I don't see lenticular. I think the packaging is beautiful. I love when you open this up, you're going to see the map of Middle Earth. So freaking fun, like so freaking fun. But for me, it's the color story. The reason why this is lower on the list is that it's the color story. I don't see Middle Earth. I don't. And so many of you guys told me that you guys did, and I love that. I love that you guys were able to see it. I don't. I guess I just had a different vision when it comes to Lord of the Rings, and because I had it so visionized, because I had a vision in my head about what I expected it to look like, I saw this and I was just disappointed. I thought the eye look created was really pretty. I can see some elements, but I feel like it doesn't truly capture the essence of Middle Earth in my opinion. So for me, I really wanted to love this. I did not. The palette worked great, which is really nice. So I didn't waste my money when it terms like the formula, but like the color story just is one I just don't resonate with. I don't see Middle Earth. I tried looking at it from your guys' perspective and I just could not see it. So that is why at number 32, we have the Glamlight Lord of the Rings palette. Okay, so coming number 31, we do the ColourPop Tangled palette. Now this palette, I love the packaging. I thought it was so cute. And for me, the color story on the inside, I saw Tangled. I can literally see Tangled with this. I see it with the purples, the golds, and the soft whites and muted purple shades in here. I think it's really pretty. For me, the reason why it's lower on the list is not because it's not a good palette, it's just because I just prefer other color stories in this one. I think when it came to this particular collection, I think they did a really good job with the Tangled theme. I can see it in this palette. You can show it to me like this, and I can definitely see the elements of Tangled. So I had a lot of fun playing with this. So it's just lower on the list just because I like other palettes more. So coming number 31, we do have the ColourPop Tangled palette. Alrighty, so coming in at number 30, we do have the DD Signature. This is the Chromebook Volume 2. Now, the only reason why this is a little bit lower on the list is because this is a Chromebook full of pretty much all shimmers and 3 mattes. And while the formula in here is absolutely incredible, I love playing with this. Like the shimmers are just, oh my God, they're phenomenal. I can only do so much when there's only 3 mattes present. I don't like doing an all shimmer look. I do like to incorporate some mattes and some dimension into my eye look. And I feel like I can't really do that when it's just solely focusing on just the shimmers. So while as much as I love this palette so much, I just need to have a little bit more dimension to work with. So coming in at number 30, we do have the DD Signature Chromebook Volume 2 palette. Coming in at number 29, we do have the Pastel Rose Shop. This is going to be the Moonlight palette. This is such a pretty palette. Like I was so blown away by this palette when I first played with it because I didn't know what to expect. I never really heard of the brand before until they reached out to me. And when I tried this, I was like, wow, okay, the mattes are really pretty. They're very soft. They're very blendable, but the shimmers are just so pretty. Like they're super creamy. They're super buttery. They glide right on the lid. I don't need to have any sort of glitter glue when playing with them. And I thought it was just a really nice formula. So definitely want to try more things from this brand. So coming in at number 29, we do have the Moonlight palette from the Pastel Rose Shop. Coming in number 28, we do have the Danessa Myricks Beauty. This is going to be the mini pastel. This will be the mini pastel dream palette. This is such a gorgeous palette. I was so blown away by this. At first, I was like, who would spend $40 on an eyeshadow palette for 6 shades? Me. I did. I so did. And let me tell you, I loved everything about this. The multi-chromes in here are what really sold me on this palette. Like, you can literally just do 2 eye looks to create a really beautiful, easy eye look. This is a great travel palette. I loved everything about this. The formula was impeccable. Loved it, loved it. But the only reason why it's a bit lower on the list is because I'm just, again, limited on how many shades are in here. So I can only do so many different eye looks with this. But let me tell you, this baby is so beautiful. It's sold out for a reason, and I really enjoyed working with this. So coming in at number 28, we do the mini dream palette. Coming in number 27, we do have the Glaminatrix. This is gonna be the Timeless Tones palette. This palette right here, y'all, first off, the outside packaging, absolutely love, but the color story on the inside I think is so beautiful. Now the only reason why it's a bit lower on the list is not because I don't think it's a beautiful palette. I absolutely do, but I feel like with this one, I kind of only want to do certain looks with this palette. The shimmers I can use every single day, right? But this would be more of like a neutral, cool tone moment with just a pops of blue, which I definitely don't mind because I could definitely mix some good, beautiful blues and browns together to create a really beautiful look. But I just feel like for me, because it only has so many different colors in here that I could play with, it doesn't spark my true creativity compared to other palettes that they have launched. And like the Tones of Turd, oh, I cannot wait for that. That's gonna be epic. But for me, I just kind of prefer other color stories over this one. It's a fantastic palette. I love my eye look. I love the formula, but I just like ones a little bit more. So coming in at number 27, we do have the Timeless Tones palette from Glaminatrix Cosmetic. Coming in number 26, we do have the Morally Gray palette from Bella Beauté Bar. I don't know what it is about this palette that I loved so much. I think it's the grays and the pinks that somehow I was able to work in my favor. I loved the eye look that I created when playing this palette. I think the formula is incredible. I really do love Bella Beauté Bar. They became a #1 palette last year for a good reason. And while this is such a beautiful palette, I just feel like I wanted more from it. I wanted more beautiful, cool tone, gray, maybe a little bit pinks, purple palettes. Like this could have been a really epic, like smoky glam moment, which they did end up launching later on. But I just feel like this one offers only so much. And while it's really beautiful, I like other ones more. So coming number 26, we do have the Morally Gray palette from Bella Beauté Bar. Coming number 25, we do have the Glaminatrix Cosmetics. This is going to be the Nearly Neutral palette. Now this was going to be a revamped palette. I never had the original to compare it to. I will say I love the outside packaging, and the colors on the inside is just beautiful. This would be a perfect, like, almost nearly neutral palette. You're gonna have not a lot of neutral shades in here with definitely some pops of color that you can create really beautiful looks with. But I think what I love about this most is that it's like little quads that you can create really beautiful looks with. Like I get really inspired when looking at this. I love the formula. I love that I can do neutral, but I love that I could do pops of color with this. It's very versatile in my opinion. But the reason why it's a little bit lower is just because I do prefer other ones a little bit more, but it's still a really beautiful palette nonetheless. I really, but it's still a beautiful palette nonetheless. I really enjoyed playing with this palette. So coming in at number 25, we do have the Nearly Neutral palette from Glaminatrix Cosmetic. Coming in at number 24, we do have the Love Language palette from Odin's Eye, collaboration with Morgan Turner. I love Morgan Turner so much. She is so incredibly sweet, and she created her idea of like the perfect Valentine's Day palette. Now, the reason why this one's higher up on the list compared to other Valentine's Day palettes, because the purples in here are purples that I genuinely fell in love with. Like I loved the eye looks I created when playing with this, but I love that you could also do neutral moments with this, and you even have little pops of pink for those who love pink shadow. But I think for me, what really sold me on this palette was those purple tones. Those purple tones are just gorgeous. I love they're different. I love that they just work so well together. It's a very cohesive palette, and this literally screams Morgan Turner. She loves purple so much. She always plays with those colors, and I just feel like this was such a really thought out palette. So that is why at number 24, we do have the Morgan Turner Love Language palette with Odin's Eye Cosmetic. Coming number 23, we do have the DD Signature. This is going to be the Drop of Fantasy palette. This color story is gorgeous. This is like a throwback to like the 2016, 2017 makeup era, with just where just pops of colors, bright, bold, vibrant in your face. I loved playing with this color story. Now, the only thing I felt like when playing with this, I just felt like there needed to be a little bit more of different matte shades to really make it more cohesive. Like I thought a really bright, a really soft, beautiful blue would have been really complementary to these, maybe like a minty green. So I feel like I can only do so much with some of these colors. I feel like they lacked a little bit more of they lacked a little bit of transition shades, like because they're so bright and pigmented, there wasn't something that's like in between to help to blend it out, to make it a little bit more soft, a little bit more blended. So that's the reason why it's a bit lower on the list, but the formula worked really well. So coming number 23, we do have the Drops of Fantasy palette with DD Signature. Coming in at number 22, we do have the Nomad Cosmetics. This is going to be the Route 66 palette. Y'all, I fell in love with the eye look that I created. This eye look is still probably one of my favorite eye looks I've done this year. I loved it so much. This was such a beautiful, fun color story. One that I did not expect. When I first saw this, I was like, okay, I don't really see what type of eye look I create, but somehow I created something so beautiful and so magical. I just feel like they really do work. You could definitely see the desert theme in this palette, and while it is definitely really beautiful, you could definitely see the desert theme in this palette. I had so much fun to play with this, but the only reason why it's just a little bit lower is just because I like other ones more. So there's nothing wrong with this. I think it's absolutely fantastic, and probably my second favorite Nomad Cosmetics palette they ever launched. So coming in at number 22, we do have the Route 66 palette with Nomad Cosmetics. Coming number 21, we do have the Ho, ah, ha, 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 ha. This is the New Moon palette with ColourPop. I think ColourPop did the best job when it came to their Twilight collection. When it came to the New Moon collection, they really captured the essence of New Moon. I really hope they do Eclipse, and I really do hope they do Breaking Dawn 1 and 2, because they just did such a phenomenal job with this. I see New Moon with this color story. I see everything related to Twilight with this color story. This is how their first collection should have been, in my opinion. But this was so beautiful. I love the eye look I created with this. I love the red vampy lip. This was such a fun collection, and this could be utilized not just for New Moon, but like for fall and winter as well. It's a really beautiful palette. I loved it so much. But again, I just prefer other ones a bit more, so that is why at number 21 we do have the New Moon palette with ColourPop. So to wrap up the 20s, we do have the Unearthly Cosmetics. This is the Murky Meadow palette. This is where it starts to get really hard for me, because I really love the top 20 palettes I'm about to show you guys. They're so freaking beautiful, and they just literally are my color story. So here we have the Murky Meadow palette. This is such a beautiful palette. Like, oh my gosh. The grungy, swampy vibes from this palette are just everything. Like, they're just everything. There's 4 shimmers, there's 5 mattes, so it's definitely really easy, enough shades to work with. You're gonna have like that olive green, these swampy browns, the doo-doo greens and yellows. Like, it's such a beautiful palette. I just loved everything about this, and I just wish that this would be a bigger, more expanded palette. If it was, it'd probably be ranked higher in my ranking video, but I still think it's really beautiful nonetheless. I really do enjoy this one. I love the eye look that I created. I love the eye look that I created with this. So coming in number 20, we do have the Murky Meadow palette from Unearthly. Okay, so coming in number 19, we do have the Jacob palette. This is the Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 2 collection with Glam Light. I will say the outside packaging of this is so beautiful. I love that you see the wolf version of Jacob followed by Jacob. But for me, the reason why I love this color story so much is because I literally see La Push. Like, they were wanting this to be like La Push and the Indian Reserve in which Jacob and his family reside in, and I literally see that with this. I see Jacob, I see La Push, I see Twilight. Like, I think they did such a phenomenal job with this color story. A lot of people did compare this to like the Nightmare on Elm Street, like the Freddy version, like the green palette. Yes and no, but I just feel like this one's different. Like, this one's just better, a little bit different. Still more on the cool tone side. Definitely has a little bit more of a neutral moment with this pops of green, but it's still so beautiful. So coming number 19, we do have the Jacob palette with Glam Light. Coming number 18, we do have the Unearthly Cosmetics. This is just a taste palette. Now, this was going to be their holiday palette. So for me, I loved this palette. I think it's definitely a mix of like Halloween meets Christmas. You're going to have a little bit of Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas. Like, the way that it just transitions, I think it's such a beautiful holiday palette. I'm definitely going to be ranking this in my Christmas palette ranking, because this is a Christmas fall holiday palette. You're probably going to see them both because it's such a universal palette. I love this color story so much. I think she did a phenomenal job, and this is probably one of my favorite Unearthly Cosmetics palettes. It's so beautiful. It's so versatile. I can create so many different looks with this. I'm so inspired when I look at this palette, but I just, again, prefer other ones a bit more, but it's still so beautiful nonetheless. So coming in at number 18, we have Just a Taste with Unearthly Cosmetics. Coming at number 17, we do have Singe Beauty. This is going to be the Galactic Visitor palette. First off, I love the outside packaging of this palette. I think it's so beautiful. But for me, I love the color story on the inside. It's such a fun, beautiful, almost like summertime palette. Like, I know it's not summertime, but like the vibes I get with it, it's kind of like a beachy summertime palette. I should have ranked this in my summer palettes. Now that I think about it, it's so beautiful. I think Angelica did a really great job with this palette. I love the shimmers. I love the mattes, and it's just a really fun palette. I can create so many different looks with this. I love that you can kind of do things in quads as well, the way that she kind of laid it out. It's very cohesive. It's very organized. And when it comes to looking at palettes, this is what I'm looking for in terms of how she laid everything out, because she makes it so easy and so user-friendly. I look for palettes that are very user-friendly, one that I could look at and I can go, I could do this, I could do this, I could do this, I could pair it with that. I love that. I love when brands do that. So for me, this is such a gorgeous palette. So coming in at number 17, we do have the Galactic Visitor from Singe Beauty. Coming in number 16, we do have the Art of Two Cosmetics. This is going to be the Ink and Roses palette. First off, the packaging, so beautiful. This was their rendition of a Valentine's Day palette, and I loved this color story. You're going to have those cool tone muted purples, grays, greens, and blues. It's so beautiful. I love the eye that I created with this. There's something about these purples. Like, I love when there's a good muted purple in a palette. I don't know why. I think it's so beautiful. I think it's so easy to work with. But then you have those beautiful pops of shimmer that really just complement it. Like, for me, this shade right here called Whisper, such a gorgeous shade. Beautiful multi-chrome shade. We see how bright and vibrant this is. This transfers between, this goes between like a pink, white purpley green moment. This is so pretty, so stunning, and I just absolutely love when brands include that type of shade in here because I just get so inspired by it. So that is why at number 16 we do have the Ink and Roses palette from Artitude Cosmetics. Coming in number 15, we do have the Bella Beauté Bar. This is the Smoky Glam palette. Again, this is another revamp palette, and let me tell you, this palette is stunning. I literally am so obsessed with the eye look that I created when playing this palette. Like, this is what I was talking about that I wanted the Morally Grey palette to be, was this right here. Because yes, it does have pink shades in here. It has purples, and you guys know they're not my favorite. I was able to make this work because you have those gray tones in here that for some reason black and pink just work really beautifully together. Pink and gray work really beautifully together. It just creates a really beautiful, soft, smoky, ethereal, beautiful, stunning eye look. And I just got so inspired when I played with this. I loved my eye look. I love my eye look when I play with this. I think that this one was just so gorgeous, and I love the shade Hypnotic. Like, this shade was so fun to play with. Again, that beautiful like duochrome, multichrome moment. Like, I just think it's the prettiest freaking shade out there. So whenever palettes have those type of shades, I do tend to gravitate it to just a little bit more. And again, this one was so fun to play with because you could do smoky, you could do glam, but you could also do everyday if you wish to do so as well. And I really like that. So coming number 15, we do have the Smoky Glam palette from Bella Beauté Bar. Okay, so coming number 14, we do have the Lovers palette from Cosmic Brushes. Now, this was their rendition of a Valentine's Day palette, but I don't know. I think it's so pretty. I love the color story because it's like you could do one side this way, one side that way. So I could do two separate eye looks, or I could do it into quads. Again, the multi-chromes and duochromes in here are so stunning. Like this shade right here called Connection. This kind of reminds me of like the Aurora Borealis, the way that this switches between like purple, blue moment. Like I did a full moment on this on my eye, and I did like a full like a swatch of it so you guys can see up close the way that this just shifts and changes. Like, I love a good multi-chrome like that. I think it's so stunning, and I feel like for me it just like really brought the palette together. And then I could also do pops of color in here, but I could also do neutral moment with this as well. Really fun formula, really fun concept. So coming in at number 14, we do have the Cosmic Brushes the Lover palette. Coming in at number 13, we do have the Depth Cosmetics. This is going to be the Minka palette right here. Now, this is a reformulation of their original Minka palette because the first one I have is pretty much all shimmers, and I just don't like a palette when it has all shimmers. I do like when they add mattes, and that's what they did with this one right here, but they definitely revamped it and they added some more shades. Like the shade Eliza, again, was one of my favorite shades. It's like that beautiful dual multi-chrome moment where it's blue, orange, purple, pink. Like, it's so pretty, so stunning, and it's so vibrant on the eye. I definitely had to play with that when I got it, but I also love all the other multi-chrome moments that you have in here. So you definitely have a mix of shimmers, you have a mix of multi-chromes, and you could do so much with this palette. You can use it as everyday, you can use it as glam, you can use it as soft, pastel, you could use soft, romantic. Like, there's so much you can do with this palette, especially since they added those mattes, and I just really fell in love with this one. So coming in number 13, we do have the Minka palette from Adept Cosmetics. Coming in at number 12, we do have the Nomad Cosmetics. This is going to be the Fantasy palette right here. Now, this palette screamed Disney to me. Like, look at the packaging, right? Like, look at the packaging. So inspiring. And it's the color story on the inside for me. This color story is just so much fun. It's so much fun. I can create so many different looks with this, but for me, the reason why I love it so much is because it's very nostalgic to Disney. And while it's not a Disney palette, it's based upon, you know, beautiful old castles that Europe has to offer. I get inspired when I look at this. I look at it and go, oh my God, this is a whimsical fairy tale palette, and I love it so much. I can do so much with this. It's such a beautiful color story from the outside packaging to the color story on the inside, and the formula. It was incredible. So coming in number 12, Fairy Tale Europe palette from Nomad Cosmetics. Coming in at number 11, we do have the Terra Moon Cosmetics. This is the Ophiuchus palette. Oh no, I forgot how to say it again. I forgot how to say it. Now, this palette right here is stunning. This is the first time I've ever played with anything from Terra Moon Cosmetics, and it's definitely not going to be the last. This is a beautiful green tone palette. You guys know I love a good green palette with beautiful mixes of browns and blues and just golds. Like, the multi-chromes in here are just stunning, and every single shade complements every single shade in this palette. I could do so much with this palette. I can wear the shimmers by themselves. I can wear the mattes by themselves. It's such a beautifully pigmented palette with such a beautiful color story. I love the concept that they were representing like a different style, like a different like a different galaxy that was out there, and I just think it's so pretty. I loved everything about this palette, and I definitely cannot wait to play with another palette from them. And I definitely cannot wait to see what they come out with next and play with some more stuff from their collection because it's just so beautiful. So coming in number 11, we do have the Ophiuchus palette from Terra Moon. I still don't know if I'm saying that right. Okay, guys, so to wrap up the top 10 palettes, we're going to go into number 10. This is where it got really difficult for me. But number 10, we have the Blend Bunny Cosmetics Beauty Below palette. First off, the outside packaging is just incredible. I think Maggie did such a beautiful job with the graphic artist doing this one. But for me, it's the colors on the inside. This is a very unique take on an ocean themed palette. I love that it felt like you're down in the depths of the ocean, where you're seeing creatures, the depths of the ocean, where you're seeing the dark, deep, bold colors with beautiful shimmers to complement it. Like for me, I love that it's a little bit different. It's not just like so bright and vibrant, but it's more deeper and more grungier while still holding the essence of a mermaid and of a deep ocean and of a siren. Like I loved everything about this. I thought it was so beautiful. I loved my eye looks with this palette, and I just had so much fun with this collection. I think Maggie did such a beautiful job just capturing the essence of the beauty below the ocean. So beautiful. So that is why at number 10, we do have the Blend Bonnie Cosmetics Beauty Below palette. Of course, it would not be an Allie ranking video if I did not feature a bright orange palette somewhere in the mix, because you guys know fall is my favorite time of the year, and I still always gravitate to a fall themed palette, and that is what this palette is right here. This is the Fantasy Cosmetica Monk palette. Now this is not supposed to be a fall palette, but y'all, in my mind, it is. Can we talk about this color story? Hello? Hello, do you not see how beautiful this is? This is going to be ranked probably pretty high for my fall ranking palette, because this is a fall palette. It's not supposed to be one, but holy shit, this color story is everything. Like this shade right here, called How. I think it's gorgeous. I just love this color story so much. I really gravitate to it. And I just feel like they did such a good job of capturing the essence of fall. We're just going to say it's a fall palette because that's what I'm renaming it. It's the fall palette. But no, it's just really beautiful. I love this color story so much. This is one that I always gravitate to a lot. So that's why it's a pretty high up on my list, just because I don't have any palette that I tried this year so far that represents this style color. Like this, because I don't have, that's why it's ranked up so high on my list, because there's not a lot of palettes that came out this year that cater towards fall, and this one did. So that is why at number 9 we do have the Monk palette from Fantasy Cosmetica. Coming at number 8, we do have the Green Goddess collection from Bella Beauté Bar. This palette is absolutely stunning. I absolutely love the way this palette turned out. You can do so much with this. This is going to be an earthy tone green muted color story. You're going to have those browns, you're going to have those greens, you're going to have those mints, you're going to have those olives. It is such a versatile palette. I love the eye looks I created with this. Whenever it came down to ranking my top 10 palettes, I pretty much looked at my eye looks and I watched back my videos to see how I really felt, and that's where I kind of put these in order. So for me, I loved my eye look that I created when playing with these, but I just prefer ones a little bit more. And while this is absolutely beautiful, just preferred ones a little bit more. So coming in at number 8, we do have the Green Goddess palette from Bella Beauté Bar. Coming at number 7, we do have the Fantasy Cosmetica. This is going to be the Ranger palette. Now this has a little bit of both. You're going to have those beautiful green tones in here that I'm absolutely obsessed with, but you also have some of those oranges that really kind of cater to my love for orange. Orange is my favorite color in the world. So you kind of have a mix of both. Like I loved both eye looks I created with this. This was I think my favorite out of the 3 rankings. This one was my favorite look that I did. It's such a versatile palette. Like for me, I could do so much with this. Like I can create some of my favorite eye looks with this color story right here. So it definitely would have been ranked up higher if it was expanded, but for me, for what it is, it's beautiful. So coming in at number 7, we do have the Ranger palette from Fantasy Cosmetica. Coming at number 6, we do have the Gourmand Girls. This is the Call of the Sirens palette. Y'all, the eye looks that I created with this, oh my god, truly obsessed. I love that this is going to be an ocean themed palette, but to me it kind of comes off more like a treasure trove. Like little, like areas, little like grotto that she has, and she puts all her little treasures in here. That's the vibe I get. Like I see this and I see jewels, I see treasure chest, I see pearls, I see the sun shining down in the water with a little mermaid circling around looking at all the treasure that she collected from the ocean. That is what I see with this palette. I get super inspired. I think it's so beautiful. This is probably one of the best like formulas that Gourmand Girl has come out with to date, in my opinion, and it's just such a beautiful, inspiring palette. I love everything about this one. So coming in at number 6, we do have the Call of Siren palette from Gourmand Girls. Okay, y'all, this is where it got really difficult for me because these top 5 palettes are just everything to me. So coming at number 5, we do have the Nomad Cosmetics. This is going to be the Ski Lodge palette. Y'all, this color story is probably the epitome of what I imagine a winter palette to look like. This is everything. Like this is everything. You're going to have those cool tone, beautiful muted color stories, but you're going to have minty moments. You're going to have blue icy moments. You're going to have those beautiful like soft pink moments as well. This is gorgeous. I see snow with this palette. I see ski lodge. I see winter. I see the Aurora Borealis. I get so inspired when I look at this palette. Like I just want to keep playing with it because the color story is just phenomenal. Like this is everything that I imagine a winter snowy vibe palette to be. They did such a good job with this palette. So Coming in at number 5, we do have the Nomad Cosmetics. This is the Ski Lodge palette. Coming in at number 4, we do have the Arcana palette from Art 2 Cosmetics. First off, the packaging is everything. I love the dragon with the woman right here. So beautiful. But this color story on the inside is exactly what I'm looking for when it comes to like a beautiful magical element moment. Like the shimmers in here are just gorgeous. The way they just melt on the lid and have such vibrancy to them, and they're so creamy and buttery. But those mattes are so blendable. But not only are they blendable, she also created really soft transition shades to go with it. Since they're pastel shades, they don't always want to lay down the best, but they're really easy to blend and work with as well. They're really easy to blend with and use to like blend out deeper shadows with. I think it's so beautiful. To me, this is a really nice fantasy moment with this palette. I love this color story so much. Like the shade right here called Arcana. Oh my god, it's stunning. It's everything I'm looking for when in terms of like a multi-chrome. So beautiful. I was so inspired, and I love the fact that's like a fantasy element, a dragon element, because I'm such a romantasy reader, and this just really captivated my love of that. So coming in at number 5, we do have the Art 2 Cosmetics. We have the Art 2 Cosmetics Arcana palette. Coming in at number 3, we do have the Singe Beauty Agate Temptation palette. Now, Angie knew what she was doing when she created this palette. She created this palette and she said, you know who would love this? Allie. Allie would love this. To me, this is like the perfect palette between summer and fall. Like you can see the summer transitioning into fall. That is the vibe I get from this palette. And you guys know I love a good green eyeshadow palette, but love a good orange eyeshadow palette with some golden moments. And that's exactly what she captured in this palette. I loved the eye looks I created with this. I get so inspired. I still use this to this date when playing with it. When I want to create a really beautiful, fun, colorful look, I use that because I can create a beautiful fall look with this. I can create a beautiful golden green eye. I can create a beautiful fall look with this. A green eye look with this, a neutral eye look with it, a bold glam eye look with this. I can do so much with this palette. The formula is incredible. Like I feel like her shimmers in this formula are just chef's kiss. They're so amazing. The mattes are so blendable and so pigmented. Angelica did such a phenomenal job with this palette, and I told her when I saw it, this was my color story. This was everything. So coming number 3, we do have the Agate Temptation palette from Singe Beauty. Coming in at number 2, we do have the Bella Beauté Bar. This is going to be the Ocean Jewel palette. This is probably my favorite palette that Bella Beauté Bar has ever come out with. Like this surpassed the Poison Garden one. Y'all, this color story is just everything to me. The eye look that I created with this, I still think it's probably one of my favorite eye looks I've ever done. I think it's beautiful. This captures the essence of the ocean for me. You're gonna have the deep blue sea. You're gonna have like the middle part of the ocean plus the top right here. It just looks so tropical. It looks so vibrant. It looks so mermaid-esque. Like I see a mermaid. I see a siren. I see so much potential in this palette. I love the multi-chromes that are in here. They're so beautiful. The shimmers are so soft, so easy to work with, and they are just absolutely everything I'm looking for in terms like a mermaid palette, a summer vibe palette. Like this is such a beautiful palette, and probably one of my favorite eye looks that I've done from this brand was with this palette. Like this is by far my favorite Bella Beauté Bar palette. This was just everything. I love this one so much, and I still get compliments on my eye look because of this. So coming in at number 2, we do have the Ocean Jewel palette from Bella Beauté Bar. And finally, coming in at number 1, I saw this palette because it was advertised on an Instagram post, and I told you guys, hey, I've been seeing this palette everywhere all over Instagram. I kind of want to get it, and you guys said please do, please do. So I did, and it is the Question Beauty Land and Sea palette. Now this is the first time I've ever tried anything from this brand. They're based in New Zealand, and let me tell you, first off, the outside packaging, I love it. I love that it's land and sea. I love that it's 2 dragons on here. I love the fact that the lid can come off so you can actually use this as like a mixing base for your makeup. I think that's phenomenal. But for me, there's something about this color story that I just resonate with so much. I can do so much with this palette. I can do beautiful like everyday looks with this palette. I could do beautiful like green eyeshadow looks, blue eyeshadow looks, neutral eyeshadow looks, smoky eyeshadow looks. Like I can do so much with this palette. The shimmers truly blew me away. Like the multi-chromes, like the shimmers truly blew me away. Like the multi-chrome in here is absolutely stunning. The way that this eyeshadow palette performed, I was just truly like blown away with how wonderful this eyeshadow was. Like it was just so pigmented, so creamy, so buttery, and it looked absolutely gorgeous on the lid. And I just love that I can do I love that I can do so much. Like this green shade right here, oh my gosh, it's just so beautiful. The green to blue to gold, like it is such a stunning palette, and I was just truly blown away with the eye looks that I created from this palette. And the formula with this palette, the mattes are so pigmented, very easy to work with, and then the shimmers are just absolutely stunning. And it was just so fun. It was so unique, something a little bit different. I love that they're building a series off of that. Speaking of them building a series, they actually gave me a sneak peek. This is sneak peek to chapter 2. Gonna be revealed next month. I don't know what the color story on the inside looks like, but I'm really excited to see what chapter 2 has to hold. And if you guys wanted to, you guys could actually use my code for the first time to save you guys 10% off of anything and everything. To save 10% off of Question Beauty, it's code Allie10 to save you guys 10% off. And let me tell you, this brand took me by surprise. I loved everything about this. You guys love the eye look that I created with this. You guys really wanted to pick this up yourself. You guys also suggested that I try this brand. Some of you guys have and said how amazing it was. And let me tell you, I was not disappointed with this palette. I truly, truly have gone back to this one. Out of all the palettes I tried this year, this is the one that I keep going back to time and time again. So that is why at number 1, we do have the Question Beauty Chapter 1 Land and Sea palette. So with that said, guys, those are all the palettes that I tried this year so far. Let me know which one was your absolute favorite. What is your number 1 palette you tried so far this year? What is your least favorite palette you guys tried this year? I love hearing from you guys. I did not intend to try as many products this year, but oh my gosh, there's just so much. And I love eyeshadow. It's my favorite thing to play with. And I've just been so inspired by so many of these indie brands. And it's just really nice to see people following their dreams and creating some magical palettes. So with that said, guys, that is it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed today's video, please make sure you guys give this video a cheeky thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you guys have not already. So I do post 3 to 4 videos every single week. Make sure you guys head over to my other channel. It's R for Life. You guys get to see my cool, wonderful adventures, my amazing husband, Corey. And as always, the biggest thank you goes to these beautiful, wonderful page numbers you guys see right here. Thank you guys so much for everything. And to my subscribers and viewers, thank you guys so much for being here. Whether you guys like this video, you guys thumbs down this video, you guys subscribed, you guys did not subscribe. Either way, thank you guys so much for being here. I love and appreciate each and every single one of you. So with that said, guys, I love you, and I'll see you guys in the very next video.